Hello, everybody. Settle on in. Let us know. Hello, Candy from Florida. I hope everything's okay. I know Florida has been a little wild down there recently, especially with the recent the hurricanes coming in. Hello, Windsor, California. Oh, hello, Texas, Ontario. Welcome back, everybody. It is Thursday, and I won't lie. I woke up this morning with the image it was Friday, and then I realized it was not. And I was like, what happened? Although I don't know how I thought I skipped a day, but it happens. It all happens. Hope everyone is well. Welcome back. If you're coming back, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome. Hello, Washington. Hello, Toronto. It is, Sabrina, it is so rainy here today. The last couple of days, the weather's been really, but anyways, we get over it. And here in Ontario, it is ECE Appreciation Day. Thank you to every ECE and any EA, child and youth worker, whoever you are. Really, everyone deserves a little bit of appreciation today. So I know that's primarily an Ontario thing. I think right now, today, I think we have a couple of days spread out over the course of the year. We deserve a little more appreciation. Let's spread the love. Hello, Massachusetts, New Jersey. Excited to have everybody here. It's snowy in Minnesota. Shh, don't say, Lynn, you're not allowed to say snow yet. It's only October. I can't do that until at least the November 1. After that, I'm fine. But no snow yet. It's not allowed. I love the snow. Love it when it's fluffy. One of the things we had to teach a international friend of ours here, it's here in Ontario, I'm sure very similar in Minnesota, is that when it's very, very sunny and glossy on like a January morning, it means it's freezing outside. I'm not looking forward to that yet. Soon. Anyways. Oh, it's snowing in Winnipeg. Yeah, I'd heard. So I hope everyone's doing well. A minute or two more, and then we're going to start rocking and rolling here today. Very excited to be chatting with some ECE leaders in this space. This is super exciting to have these ladies on today. I'm so happy they're here with us. Like, you have no idea. I'm not going to spill all the beans yet, but so pumped. It's going to be great. Anyways, hello, South Dakota. Weather's crazy there. Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we are these days. This is the time of year, the transition, it's happening. It is just a happening. Hope everyone's well. It's not really raining right now. It's kind of gray right now, but super excited to have everybody joining us today. One more minute here, and then let's rock and roll. Keep your fingers handy on the chat today. We're going to ask for a little bit of participation. Okay, I'm excited. I'd like to get you guys involved. I agree, Carmen. Let's echo what Cecilia said. Appreciate every single one of you. Every educator, teacher, whoever you are. Oh, hello, Alaska. Welcome. Whoever you are. It is, it's a pleasure working with everybody. And I can say that because I have all of you lovely people here. So hello, Florida. I saw briefly there. It was really hot down there. Hello, Tampa. Excited to have everyone. One more minute, then let's start rocking and rolling. Hello, Texas. If you were with us last week, we had Andy, absolutely phenomenal gentleman, on chatting with us a little bit more about pandemic policies and, the flu, the cold, the flu, that season. It is upon us. Hopefully everyone's doing well, staying healthy. I know that we're in such a gray area right now. It's a little bit wild, but we will motor through. As my mom says, just keep on trucking. That's her motto, I think. Hello, Dallas. All right, guys, let's get started here. Let's have some fun today. And like I said, keep your fingers on your chat because I'm going to be asking you guys to give us a little bit more info. Teresa, I'm so sorry. The name of his book, I'd have to look it up. I believe it was linked in the show notes from last week. He's had one come out, second one is coming out. And it had to do with one of the shootings down the state. So, all right, guys. As always, if you're joining us for the first time, I am not your face of legal advice. I did not go to law school, and nor would you want legal or financial advice from this face. That's just the end of it, guys. Okay? Hate to say that. This is why I have a husband. He works at the finance part, and I just watch. just kidding. We work on it together. But anyways, ideally here, we want you guys to take tips, tricks, resources, take away even a positivity moment, whatever it is that's happening. We just want to make sure, that you guys are getting some good advice in a way that it's helpful. But obviously, if you're looking for financial advice, Carmen, by the way, linked his books. She's on the point today, guys. She's so on the ball. Wait till you see her later. Anyways, if you're looking for advice, please make sure just get there with a financial advisor, talk to your licensing rep, whatever it is you need to do. Okay. The session is always, we're recording everything. So if you do need to hit the road for whatever reasons, if anything comes up, it doesn't matter. Don't worry. We are recording the whole session. So not to fret. Okay. Everything will be made available in the show notes, including the certificates, but the certificate will also be available at the end of the webinar. Any resources we talk about today, all the links will be in the show notes as well. And at the end of the day, if you're finding your connection is just don't fret, just refresh, reconnect, should be good. Worry at all at the end of the day. If you are joining us once again for the first time, I'm Ria. I'm one of the early childhood educators here at Hi Mama, working on the marketing team with my co-partner, Carmen. She's on the chat. Carmen.
Hi, everyone.
She's here, guys.
I'm here. I'm on the chat as usual. So definitely don't be shy. Ping me if you need.
Please do. Give her some love, guys. She's always here. She's got my back. As always, I've always said to my special guests that couldn't do this without Carmen. Let me tell you. Whew, could not. Speaking of special guests, later on, we're going to be bringing on these fantastic, fantastic ladies. And I do want to call out that both Cindy and Amanda have been very consistent webinar attendees. They're super active in what we're doing here with Hi Mama as well. And I'm just so excited to hear about some of their experience. I think it's going to be a really cool show today for you here. So pack it in. Let's get started on some of the topics. I was saying earlier, we've had so many just kind of down days recently with the news, cases going up, things like that. I wanted to just focus a little bit more on some of the positive things that have actually been coming out of all of this. And by no means do I want to mask anything. That's not the point. Talk about some of those positive things though, and just kind of bring them back up to because at the end of the day, they do keep us going a little bit. At least they keep me going. With our special guests, talking about, of course, impact of COVID, but what challenges and growth have happened? I think something we've kind of forgot to talk about. Supporting teachers, this has been a big one, and their families, and just kind of hearing about the key learnings. And with both these lovely ladies coming on, we have, they're both users of Hi Mama. So we just wanted to get a little bit of an inside look on how they've been using Hi Mama and, what those impacts have been for them. So I'm super excited to be chatting with them, and let's dive into some of the content so we can get in with them, because that's more important. On the positive note of, I'm sure you're thinking, Ria, what are you thinking? We're in the middle of a crisis right now. Why would we be talking about positivity? This is something I'm a big believer of, in, being positive. And yes, things can be going right down the tubes. At the end of the day, it A, takes more muscles to frown, and B, I would rather be happy. So it is thinking about you working in the classroom right now, or, even if you're a director or, you're an owner, whoever it is you are making a positive impact on the children's life still. You are still a huge piece of their life. And to think about some of the things that are coming from the whole situation. Relationships is a big one. And probably my big takeaway is that hopefully you've been building just that one step closer to your families and their children. You are just taking that little bit extra, because right now your connection with your families is your biggest piece. Many families can't come in the center, for example. I know that's kind of depends on where you are right now, but many families can't come in the center. So you're doing your best to, just keep kind of, messaging, emailing, using your app. If you're using Hi Mama or whatever it is you're doing your best to just kind of double up on that communication piece. And I think that because of it, you're also creating stronger relationships with your families and your children. And the other side of it too is I think that your working relationship with your colleagues is probably blossoming. Maybe not. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's maybe one colleague that, anyways, it's always one, right? But at the end of the day, you're working on building such a stronger relationship. You're probably confiding in them a little bit more. I am on this end with, my hi mama people, but at the same side, you're working on that stronger relationship. So the big one here, huge light. I've heard this from politicians, no matter where you are right now in the world, that the importance of early childhood education is there, and that, they want to restart the economy, and they realize that if we don't have care for our children, we won't be restarting that economy the way they want us to. So now is the time. Express your voice, be heard. Let's get better conditions in there. Here in Ontario, I shouldn't say Ontario, but across Canada, we're looking for universal childcare. I'd love to see what happens here. I know we're supposed to be going to a couple of next steps along the way, so I'm just keeping my eye on it and seeing where we're going. But I think ideally, we just want a better working life. We want a little bit better for us. So get involved and say your piece and be loud about it and be proud, please. Some reminders, we're in such a stressful job, and not saying there's other jobs that are more stressful or less stressful or whatever's going on, but we're raising the next generation. We're at a high risk area for transmission, those sorts of things. At the end of the day, just remember, and this was something I wanted to echo again from Corey and a couple of other people we've had on over the last several weeks, especially Beth, about, focusing on your control, what you can control, and letting go of those things you can't, because they're just going to continue to weigh you down. Prioritizing your health is super important, and especially being on the same page with your director, manager, whoever it may be. Okay. Unplug, folks. I went through like a stage, won't lie, probably even leading up to my wedding, where I was like glued to the news. And it didn't really help me at all. It didn't help me sleep at night. It doesn't give me any other answers. Don't get me wrong, check up, make sure you're informed, and then get off of it. I've had to slap myself on the hand for that one. This is a big one I took away from Corey's chat with her the other day, and I know she echoed it in the very first time we had her on, was that, remembering we don't have all the answers right now. And I think that's a big thing. It won't really, you can't have all the answers. We're not going to. We're going to probably be years away from having some answers for some things. But at the end of the day, just acknowledging that will actually create a little less anxiety and a little bit more room for you to grow. And of growth, think about focusing on you. This was a key takeaway from when we had Beth on back in July, that you want to focus on your better version of yourself. And I know that's really hard at the end of the day when, you're trucking along, you're on the front lines, you have to go home, feed your family, do everything else that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Take a little bit of time for you, whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, a whole day, whatever it is you want to do. Good luck maybe if you're a mom for a full day. But anyways, I'd love to know. At the end of that, want to make sure you're creating a better version of yourself, because we are going to come out of this. We are going to come out of it better, stronger, faster. I'm thinking of the song, guys. This is where get involved, folks. I want to hear from you. So in the chat, just thinking about the positive things that have happened right now, whether it's recent, whether it was a couple of months back, but just kind of related to over the last couple of months with COVID. It can be personal or work related, but let us know something that it could be a thing, it could be an event, feelings that you've had, whatever it is. I'd love to hear in the chat. I'm keeping my eye on here. Take a minute though, and I'll tell you one of mine, and I'm sure Carmen will probably pop hers in there as well soon. LaDonna, you've more family. It's pretty much on that for me as well. My husband commuted to work. I had much shorter commute, I won't lie. And we used to do a phone call on the way home for him, so that hour drive home, we didn't lose that hour completely. It was, being able to, Anna, congrats, you're going to be a grandma. I saw that. It was that time that we wouldn't have had probably if this had not happened. And now because of that, of course, he's changed positions, he's home permanently. And because of that, we've had more time outside, more time to just be together. And it's just really been nice. And I think time is like my big one. and because of that, a lot more happiness in my life. So Martha, you went to the beach. Oh, for the first time, I love the beach. Honestly, one of my favorite places. When the boat is in the water, it's out of the water, guys. This is sad too. When it's in the water and we're out, I love being on the water. I love being on the boat. It is my happy place. I love it. I love it. Lots of more pits. So going through, and I'm not going to be able to get all of these guys, but spending more time outside, you've been bonding with family, exercising and reading more. That good book, ping me. I'd love another good book, by the way. Hope, your newest granddaughter was born. Congratulations. Your time is now not your own. Negative for COVID-19. Congratulations. That is, I'm sure, such a weight off for you. Let me tell you. Carmen brushed up on her French, y'all. She's got goals, this girl. Let me tell you, she's got some major goals. Sandy, is all 9 books are you finishing? Whoa, it's taking you a while. That's 9. I won't lie. I've probably done, three this over the course of the summer, kind of mixed in with wedding planning. It happens. Lots of amazing things in the chat here. Jennifer, you're coming back from a COVID closure and seeing and connecting with the children. It was just awesome over the 3 months of not seeing them. So much joy. I agree with you. So much joy in there. Making time for family. You guys have got some great, I've seen a lot of family time, and I think some so nice and needed time with family. There's a difference between spending time with family and rushing around and doing all your errands. And then there's this nice time that you're able to, get out there. Trips to the pumpkin patch. I love it. You guys, there's been a lot of escaping. I escaped through my books as well. It's just so nice. Some crafting, lots of time outside. I'm seeing a couple of people have gotten engaged. Congratulations. You're on the trail now here. It's a wild ride, but it's a lot of fun, and it'll be worth it at the end of the day. Very exciting times for a lot of people here. A couple of people are stepping up into the director role. I love it. There's so many great things. New puppies. I want to see a picture, folks. Take these, hold on to these moments, because they are huge for us right now. And I want to keep that positivity going and remember, we're still fighting a fight. We're still in this together. But at the end of the day, there's still no reason why we can't go on through, be happy a little bit. You're allowed to be sad if you're not feeling it. So happy everyone joined me in this. I'm so glad we did this little activity. I think it was a lot of fun. I want to bring on our first special guest, everybody. Welcome, Cindy. So while Cindy's getting up connected, over many years of experience here, Cindy has. Welcome.
Thank you.
So excited to have you. When I read your bio, it just it sat out to me, by the way. I loved it. I also felt like there was a little bit of sass in the same time. So I'm like, I think Cindy and I are going to get on really well. Lots of people give Cindy some love here in the chat. Let's get started though with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about you? And then you are at the Presbyterian Preschool and Childcare Center. Maybe just give us a highlight of what's going on there as well.
Okay. I've been actually with Presbyterian for over 24 years now. I have 4 children, 3 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild, and another one on the way. So a lot of children in my life, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot going on. Our center was closed for 4 months.
Okay.
We reopened mid-July, and we have 24 kids right now. We can have 72. So it's a very different view than it was before.
Very
different. Yeah.
And how's your center, how's your teachers feel about the view right now? And then how are your families feeling about it? Kind of both sides of the coin.
I think the teachers that chose to come back are doing very well. And that was a big piece for us. Some chose not to come back. So we have a very good group right now. They're here because they want to be here.
Fantastic.
So that's important. Our families, they're very supportive. They're glad that we are here, that we are doing this, even though we have to have low numbers and the whole outlook has changed since they can't come in and see what's going on.
True. Totally true. And for you, so if you're maxed out at 72, so how many teachers came back for you in total then to start?
Right now we actually have, technically, I guess you could say we have 4 classrooms open. So we have, I'm trying to think how many we have, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really, we have about 10 on staff because we have some floaters and so yeah.
Awesome. So of course, we all know, and you know this just as well, COVID has really hit, especially the early childhood education space is so hard. What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome, coming back and everything? And then of course, like you said, you've had a couple of teachers who aren't back yet. Maybe highlight some of those key challenges you've had to face so far.
I think the biggest challenge has been fear on the part of families, fear on the part of staff that we had. It's an unknown.
Yeah.
And then worry about health, how's it going to affect each person themselves? How does it affect their families? So I think fear is the biggest challenge, really. And then unexpected things were who wanted to come back, who didn't want to come back, as far as teachers, as far as families. It's all a big unknown. And so still working with that. And there's still fear out there. There will be.
Totally. It's not going to go away overnight, sadly.
No.
I wish we could all make a magic wand and make it go away, but that's not going to happen. So with it, facing some of those fears, did you have a couple of staff who came back who were still a little fearful, or did they come back, work through a couple of emotions with you, and now they're on the right track? How do your teachers really feel, and how did they face that fear when coming back into the classroom?
So we had one staff who came back and still found it difficult, so decided not to stay.
Okay.
And the others, a little up and down about it, but really I think once people made the decision that they want to come back, as far as our staff, I don't think they're that worried about it. They know we're here to support them too. And that's the big thing, is having enough support.
That's key. If they don't know that, I'm sure you'd have nobody and you'd be holding the bag, but you're supporting them. So clearly they're good to go.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back, look at it a little deeper, into ourselves right now, because we've been talking a little bit about this positivity. How has the center maybe come out for the better? What was their big wins from all of this so far?
I think probably the biggest win is staff knowing that they really want to be here. Before you came in every day and there was a routine, but it's very different when you come back under the kind of the cloud of COVID. And so you find out you're here because you want to be here. It's a choice that you really made, and you know that others chose not to be here. So I think that we found out we're more resilient than we thought we were. We're adaptable. I don't think we realized how it's not easy, but how we could adapt like that. I think that's what we found out.
I love that. And I think that's huge. We've talked about this several episodes back about, retaining staff and staff wanting to be there. And I think the biggest thing is if they know they want to be there, like you said, then it makes a huge impact too on your curriculum and how it's working, and they're happy probably to be there versus, the routine of being there.
Right. And the stress, they're not, they're happy to be here. And I would say just by watching the children, there isn't as much stress as you might think, because the children are happy, they're content. And that's a huge piece about how it's working, is seeing that.
I love that. So what has been the change because of all this, besides, teachers are like, obviously they've gotten over, they're super happy. They're happy to be back, happy to be working, happy to be with the children. What's been the biggest positive impact at the center? Hard questions for you on a Thursday, Cindy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm brain dead, but
it's okay.
Now you know what I'm going to do, Rhea? I'm going to look at my notes, and what did I say?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
I have notes. I do it all the time.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to ask you.
Yeah. One of the things we've done, and this has had a really positive impact, is we've changed our hours. Ooh. And so on Wednesdays, we're here half day.
Okay.
So that they can sanitize and do paperwork and everything else. And we have a staff meeting every Wednesday, just a short staff meeting. That's huge. That brings all the staff together. We've learned this is something that's important. And when it does go back to normal, whatever that is, that'll be an important piece to continue. It's probably not going to be every week. We can't do this and do half days every week eventually. But it's that connection, bringing all of your staff in the center together. within a classroom, they know each other, but you need to have everybody come together. So that's been one of the biggest things. That's had more impact, I think, on how everybody feels than anything else.
I love that. And it's totally true. Whatever the normal ends up being after all of this craziness is done. So maybe it goes to once a month or every other week or something, depending on of course
Yeah.
your life. But I love that, and I love that it created so much connection for your teachers, and they see value in that, and then your family see the value because it's getting delivered across the board.
Yeah, I kind of say like we're one, it's not big, but we're one big island, and it had kind of
Yep.
gotten to where each classroom was an island by itself, but now we've pulled back together. So that's a real positive about what COVID has created.
I like that. I like that analogy of the islands coming in versus being, separated out in the middle of
Hmm.
nowhere. I love that. I love it, love it. Let's talk about the fall. We know COVID's not leaving us anytime soon, although we'd all love to kick it out and wish it the best of luck, but not even that. How is your center preparing for fall and winter? I know you're down in Oregon, so it may not be the same as like our winter and fall, but what's the plans for you guys as the winter rolls in?
I think the biggest thing is we've been back in operation since the middle of July. We have our systems down and we have the routines. So as far as prepping, there's not a lot we have to do
Mm-hmm.
because we're very aware of what we need to do to keep everybody healthy. And so the biggest thing would be if we could bring in more families in. We don't have that right now.
Yeah.
Families are still scared, and some are not working. Parents are working from home and keeping their children at home while they do that. So it's just figuring out how you survive and go on with your low numbers. But we're working on that. It's something you think about constantly, Rhea, and have to reassess.
Yeah, it's not something you think about once and then it's
Yeah,
over. It's a continuation of step by
right,
step
right.
over
You
the
have to have
course.
more than one plan. You have a bunch of plans,
Yes.
and like this, if this, if this, if this, you have to have multiple plans.
Yep. And of course, if you try one plan, it may not work and you have to reassess and,
Hmm.
adapt it or do it a different way or
And we know we can do that because we were closed and we're back. So we can adapt, we can reassess.
that's perfect. I love it. So, do you have any plans in place if you have to close again? Like, will you guys go to online learning? Like, what's your plans if you have to close up shop again? And I hope you don't.
We've had to close a classroom.
Oh,
And so we were able to work through that, and then that reopened. Um, so we know what it looks like with one classroom closed. To close the
okay.
whole center, hopefully not. Hopefully not. I mean, truly, if we can go along as we had, we could.
Yes.
It would have to be so catastrophic in a way, like if you had a case or more than one case in in the classrooms. But hopefully we don't have to do that because that can be the death of a center, whether it's us or anybody else. If you had to close again, because as before, when we left in March, we thought 2 weeks.
Hmm.
4 months later, we came back.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a huge, huge impact. So, with maybe enlighten us a little bit, you had to close that room. Was that due to a staff or a child? Maybe just give us like that story a little bit, because I'm sure there's been a couple of questions through the chat already about like what the situation was like and why, and the whole jazz. So,
so it was an individual within a classroom who was positive.
yep.
Um, and so closed it down. It's 2 week quarantine.
Hmm.
So just, for us, it was talking with our county health department and how to handle it. And because we'd sanitized all the time and the staff before they left sanitized the room, we had the cleaners would come in the evening and they sanitized, and we just shut the doors for 2 weeks in that classroom. Families
Yeah.
very supportive, very supportive. Um, Feedback we got was they knew it would come at some point in time, and we had done well to not have it happen until then. So we had tremendous support within our families. It makes a big difference.
Huge difference. I'm sure it would have been a very different situation for you if your families had not been pleased. Well, I'm sure they weren't pleased, but supporting you in any shape or format would have made such a difference and so hard. And so it was just the one. I hope it was no more than the one. But how did your staff feel? Because I'm sure this tied back to fear. Was there room next, or was there a bit of a lingering feeling because of it, or did they just kind of keep going on as it were?
Pretty much kept going on. There's a little bit of uncertainty in that, but I think because of the way it's planned out even by the state, this is how the protocol you follow. I think that makes a huge difference. You already have that piece in place. And so it's not like, oh no, what are we going to do? We knew what to do. It's kind of set out. So that helps a lot.
That's good. I'm super glad to hear that was in place for you guys. So all of this has been going on. You've been open now for a little while. What's been some of like your own key learnings about this whole situation so far?
Maybe, what's interesting when I think about it, and I'm thinking about that just because this morning it was cold, and so is how well the children are doing with the change and their parents can't come into the center. That's a big one. And in all of this, I feel that they feel very safe here. The children do. That's huge, Rhea. That's huge.
That is huge.
That we know this has an effect on everybody. It's stressful, whether you're an infant, whether you're elderly. But to see the resilience in our children, to see the commitment in them, that's a huge piece. A huge piece for me.
Cindy, that means a lot. Like hearing that, like it comes out and you take it in for a moment. It's almost like, I won't lie, I was like kind of holding it in, and I'm like just hearing about the safety and the children feeling that way and knowing that they are so adaptable. And I think we forget that very much all the time.
We forget that about ourselves too, Rhea.
Yeah.
And that's one thing this has taught us,
Yeah.
And I know working here, there have been different things in the past. So for me, I can look back and go, okay, we made it through that. We made it through that. We made it through that. This is huge, but we're going to make it through this. I'm not worried about that. We'll come out. It'll be different. But
we'll learn something.
We will have learned something about how we operate and about how we operate individually and how we operate as a group. So, yeah.
I agree completely. And I think the learnings will be for the better. And then they're going to put us on a better path to success. So with that, you are a Hi Mama user. You do use Hi Mama within the center.
I like Hi Mama.
Maybe tell us about some of your favorite features. This is like a shameless plug, everybody.
You deserve it for providing these webinars for us.
Oh, stop. I'm going to blush now.
Yeah.
Please don't. Cindy, we lost your picture. I don't know what happened.
I see that.
Maybe
I don't know either.
If she just wanted to disappear, we can still hear her, but
well, maybe you can hear me, but
I can hear you. Keep going. It's all good. We can hear you. So
okay, now I forget where we were. What were we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about the app. We were talking about what's your favorite feature, and maybe just give the
Hi Mama.
Yeah.
Well, I like all the features, and what I really appreciate is no matter where you are, you can use it. It's portable. Because when we're away from the center, yes, I took my work computer home. I can even when I'm away from here, I have it on my phone. If a parent makes a comment, it pops up. If I need to respond to it, no matter whether it's an evening or a weekend or whatever, I can do that. And what is great too is the information is there for parents to see. It's not like, okay, you have to send a note home with parent A, so parent B can see it or whatever, and they forgot where it is. And I love the developmental part. I really like that, and that's a big piece. So we've encouraged all teachers to use that as opposed to the old system of where they had a binder that was a portfolio. So it's a huge piece, I think.
It's also, I won't lie, probably my favorite piece of it. Similar to you, we had old binder at the center I was, it was like so thick and you had to scroll through. And the thought of being able to use something, because I sadly never got to use Hi Mama within the classroom, but being able to just click, click, click as an educator, it's just like mind blowing for me, but B, so important because that development piece is huge.
Mhm.
So.
And and thing is, it's good for us and it's good for the families because they can access it at any time if they're really busy. They want a good experience. They can just go pull up Hi Mama and they can look at photos of their child and say, okay, this is okay that my child has to be there because I get this feedback and it's always there for them to access, Rhea.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Cindy, I'm going to kick you off. And I'm going to bring Amanda on here. But stay with us, obviously, because we're going to bring you back for Q&A. It's been fantastic chatting with you. We have a couple of questions already lined up for you. So I'm going to kick you off, and I'm going to bring on Amanda here in a second. I know it seems like we're all having a couple of connection issues today, so it's not the end of the world. I want to make a shout out, though, kind of early, because one of Cindy's teachers, I should say. I'm so sorry. Today's Thursday and it's kind of weird for me. One of Cindy's teachers here is on, and she said that a child had tested positive and they went into quarantine, and they couldn't force the testing, obviously, and I understand that, but they did do that 14-day quarantine, and their families were fantastic. They helped keep their classroom, going, and it was just absolutely awesome. Amanda, you're here with us as well. Everyone's having connection issues today.
I was kicked right off, but here I am. I'm back. I'm back.
You're back. Let's start. Let's start with just tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about Pocket Full of Posies, which I love saying. I said it like 50 times as soon as I read it, and then we'll dive into some fun after that.
We say it and sing it around here quite a lot as well. I actually, I really appreciated getting to listen to Lucinda's story, and we have a lot of striking similarities. So we have been in existence since about 2002. I've been here since 2007, and I purchased in 2019, which who even remembers that year? But kind of a challenging year to become a business owner, but I'm the owner director. It's a small center. We have up to 5 classrooms, an infant, a wobbler, 1-year-old age, toddler, and 2 preschool groups. And basically, we also closed in March, thinking we would be closed for 2 weeks. And then we were closed April, and then we were closed May, and then we were closed June. And we reopened on July 1st, which was my birthday, a birthday present to myself. It was not exactly how I planned to spend my birthday after staying home for 3 months, but it was an overall positive thing. And really, we've gone through we were working from home. I was able to keep my teachers on for the bulk of that closure time. We did get to the point in June where we had to do an official furlough. But for that time, from March through June, March through the end of May, we basically worked on ourselves. We started in March planning to reopen in April and thinking, wow, these kids are going to need so much help to transition after being home for 2 weeks. That's crazy. We've never been closed more than a week. After our winter break, we're usually working with all sorts of behavioral responses after the holidays. But and so we really thought we were working towards supporting our kids through this big transition that was going to be a lot shorter. And then lo and behold, it turns out they were so happy to be back. The majority of our kids were amazingly resilient and excited to come back to school. And that, of course, made things, a lot. That was just one factor less for us to calculate in this process. But really what we're at the point now, we've been open for a few months, and we're working with all of these elements of COVID care, that we can't have certain materials. We're trying to imagine how we play. We don't interact with the other classrooms. We're only in our own space with our own teachers. And it's at this point, we're kind of trying to reevaluate and figure out what are the holes. I was just observing our younger preschool class and realizing they need they're just crying out for a creative PlayStation. We used to have this big, beautiful, we call it the house, our dramatic PlayStation. And we, because most of those dramatic play materials are not really appropriate anymore, we're trying to fill that void. And it's basically our big focus in that classroom right now. Like, we're doing a lot of paper play, a lot of paper masks and hats and things. One fresh thing each day, but we can do that because it's Halloween.
That is true. I was going to ask you what kind of challenges you were facing, but you kind of already started enlightening. So that maybe enlighten for us for some of the other classrooms, especially. I know lots of people, and especially you've seen on the chat with the webinars you've been at, a lot of people are like infants and toddlers, and like, what are you doing in their classrooms? Maybe what some of the key challenges you've seen in those ones, and your wobblers. I love it. It's usually said that the wobblers.
Wobblers. They're quite wobbly. Well, one of the elements of how things are being handled in Oregon is that because we have our pods, each classroom group, it has its specific group. There are specific classroom pod teachers, and there's a certain number of kids that can be in that group. We are actually a little bit less focused on the distancing in the classroom as much as we are within the rules that the state has provided us, as much as we are focused on ensuring that they don't interact with other children and they're not shared spaces. For instance, in the bathroom, there's one bathroom for the children in the preschool class and 2 classrooms. And so and the snack area as well. In order to do that, we have to make sure we're, thoroughly cleaning those spaces between each use to make sure that the next, the next group has a sanitized space. But going into reopening, we were really able to just kind of remove a lot of the materials that would be difficult to clean. We had a lot, because we have a rye-based element to our philosophy. We have a lot of natural materials, and we just kind of went through and said, well, these blocks are too porous. They will fill with water and slowly disintegrate by the time we're able, by week 3. And so my garage is so full of these lovely natural material toys and carpets and things that are ready to come back at some point, and they just had to be replaced. And so, the other reason why there are fewer challenges for some of those other younger groups is because we're really at low enrollment, and similar to Lucinda, we're about at half capacity. Yeah. And similar to her, the teachers that have wanted to come back have come back, and we've definitely had teachers that are on an extended leave and would like to come back at some point at which they feel safe. And I'm happy to welcome them back at that point. I, of course, don't want them to feel as if they need to be pressured to return, because it won't work out.
No, it will
that's not going to be
so much, dark space will just be there. They'll be unhappy. You'll be unhappy because they're on. It's just going to be a bad circle of grossness.
Yeah, we don't. It's not going to be good for them or the kids or anyone else. But I forgot about it. I do this. I think I warned about this that I would. That's okay. I do tend to babble.
Let's jump then a minute. Let's jump to a little bit about what's the center's come out of all of this. You guys were closed for several months, like Cindy. Maybe what was some of the positive changes that have come from that, and like what has maybe been the best positive impact at the center so far that you guys have seen through all of this?
Absolutely. I think that one of the, of course, our toys have never been so clean. They are cleaned throughout the day. Everything is cleaned daily. It is, it makes me feel really, really great. And there are a lot of those safety, sanitation rules that will definitely stay with us. But I think that taking one of the things we were able to benefit from during our closure was the time that we had to spend on ourselves as educators. We really didn't know what we were prepping for, and there weren't a lot of specific resources available. So shout out to Hi Mama for providing with this relevant material weekly. It's really wonderful. And it's helping us to be able to continue this, this professional development that we started, back in March. But we really fine-tuned and focused on really delving in, even teachers that have been here years and years, we're delving into our philosophy base of like positive guidance from RIE and creating environments and adapting to creating new environments for different situations, which was really important, coming back to having to basically create new environments in each classroom. And one of the bittersweet as an administrator, because it's a big financial challenge for me. But one of the bittersweet but wonderful things is that we have these small ratios at the moment. And we can really work on these wonderful bonds. It's really lovely to have 2 infants and 1 teacher. It's not really very sustainable.
No.
And that's part of my job. But I'm also really happy that, my infant teacher is able to hang out with just 2 babies.
Yep.
But yeah, and so getting to really work on these with these kids, these small groups, and having the time to have worked on our philosophy and application has been a really great outcome, I think.
I love it. Let's jump, because you were talking about you being like, obviously being an owner, you're director, you're kind of stepping into everybody's shoes, wear everybody's hats, as does, I feel like, every educator. Tell us about maybe some of your own key learnings for you. Let's set money aside, because we know that no matter where you are, money's an issue right now.
Right.
Anywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe what some of your key outlooks on all of this so far.
Well, I would say that I have, it's always been my kind of personal mantra to just plan for the worst and hope for the best. I think that is the best way to be successful in any classroom and any situation in life. Just make sure you know what the worst thing that could happen is, so you can plan for it, and then just hope that that doesn't happen. But yeah, plan for the worst. Know what you're walking into as much as you can, but also to be able to. I think it was touched earlier in the slides, like accept that we can't control everything, and just keeping that positive perspective and be ready to adapt, because that is there. There are. I mentioned earlier, like right now is the point where we've adapted so much that we're realizing, in adapting to all these new rules, we really need to like add this back in. The kids, it seems like they're really reaching out for this material, and this need is not being met. And that's also adaptation, realizing like, okay, well, this is what we're working with now, and how can we assess and continue to best meet their needs within these crazy restrictions that we're working in. And so, have reasonable expectations of yourself and always strive, to do the best. And the thing that I've come to terms with is that expecting COVID to go away will, in any sort of measurable timeline, will probably drive you a little bit insane. So kind of, just accepting that this is now and living in it. And I really personally just kind of like look forward to the little the little milestones. I'm like, next week's Halloween, and then deciding what kind of turkey I'm gonna cook, what kind of just a few weeks at a time. Oh, my son's gonna turn 2. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I'm deciding between sugar cake or, like applesauce.
I totally agree though, in regards to like those little things, they mean just that much more right now. And totally in a huge impactful way. Like even the other day I was like, I actually have like the option of picking my own fresh tomato, or do I want to buy one at the store? Like, which one is it? Mind you, the plant's gone now because it got too cold. But anyways, it's the whole thing of like, this is a little thing. Do I want a fresh tomato, or do I want to go to the store and get a tomato from there? Like, it's that little, Okay, Amanda, before we jump into open Q&A, obviously you use Hi Mama. You've been obviously on many of our webinars. Tell us maybe about some of your favorite features, and then we're going to jump into bringing Cindy back.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it's really important for me to say right off the bat that because part of our philosophy is like a low tech base, I have been staunchly opposed to using a communication app in my center for years and years, even because I was the director before I was the owner. And I was just so opposed to it. I was recommended some other options. I even took like a little tour when I first took ownership, and I was like, no, we need to keep this tech out of the classroom. We don't want the kids to see it. And when we had to stop allowing families in, I realized that we needed more connection, and this has been such a great tool for connection. The parents love getting to see the pictures. The ability to tag developmental skills makes things just so much easier. It's really teacher user friendly, and it looks great and what I tell the teachers, we just had an in-service day. We had many Zoom meetings and classroom setup. But what I said is, we're already doing the work. We might as well show it. We might as well take the moment to tag the developmental skills so the parents can be just reminded, we are aware and working and with your kids in these places, and we're monitoring it. We're trying to make sure that you see it too, because you can't see it in here. Yeah. I've enrolled a very small amount of families most of my families just came back from our closure, but we did lose a considerable amount, and I've enrolled just a handful of families, and some of them have never been inside our building, and that is bizarre,
Yeah.
And so being able to take those pictures throughout the day, get different angles so they can feel connected, they can feel like they're a part of inside the building. And of course, the other element of Hi Mama that's been such a great tool is the webinars. Not only the Hi Mama helps, but the Hi Mama master classes, so we can kind of learn how to use the app better. So that's been very handy.
I'm gonna blush. Amanda, stop. All right, Cindy, come back on here and join us. We only have a couple of minutes, but since you're on, Amanda, I'm going to start with you. Just around some of your artwork, we had Rose ask a question about when can you send artwork home as well. We know you guys are in Oregon, so it does vary state to state, province to province, like that, can be a difference. But as well, do you guys use crayons for your activities? And if you do you clean them?
Yes and yes. So for our preschool age kids, they have little pencil boxes, so they can have their own activity where they can go access their supplies, use them and put them away, and then those are cleaned. Those are only used by that one child, so those are cleaned less frequently, so like daily or weekly. But if we are at the art table together, we put the materials down. And when they're done, we just wipe them down. We were really fortunate to get Oregon recently had kind of a donation system, so we just received a bunch of these lovely wipes that I've not been able to purchase for about 6 months. We have the tech for just a quick wipe down. But yeah, basically anything that's in use, we use it and then we clean it. And so that was part of our reopening, is if we can't just clean it right after, we probably should just remove it for now.
Yeah, I agree. Cindy, for you, because you had been talking a little bit about, you have a couple of staff who are floaters for you. From Catherine, she asked, are you guys afraid of having to close multiple rooms if a floater gets COVID? Maybe how are you handling that situation?
Well, the floaters are they're only between 2 rooms. So and actually with the room that closed, those 2 floaters were part-time in that room, so they were quarantined.
Got you.
For the 2 weeks. I
got you.
Okay. What they do, luckily the beginning of their day was in one room, and the room that was quarantined, that was the end of their day. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got
so
you.
we were lucky.
Very lucky, very lucky. We only have a few minutes. We had lots of questions, but you guys have kind of answered all of them as they've been coming up. But I want to give you guys a moment, and maybe Cindy, we'll start with you. Any pieces of advice, words of wisdom, any thoughts you want to leave us with today? I was about to say positive or negative, but maybe not on the negative side. Anything you want to leave us with to end the show today?
I think the biggest thing is we will come out the other side of this, and we'll come out changed in some way, but we'll find the good things in it. We're adaptable. It really is that, and don't worry about some of those little things. You have to let go of a lot. You have to let go of a lot.
I agree 100%. Amanda, for you, same question. Any last thoughts of love?
I'm going to end with a Janet Lansbury quote. And if you don't know who she is, please follow her immediately. She's wonderful. It says, the most effective leaders lead with confidence, keep their sense of humor, and make it look easy. And that's not easy for us, actually. But our confidence is going to help others to feel more confident. And take care of yourselves.
I agree.
Sleep and eat well. Yeah, we got to take care of ourselves. To take care of others.
Humor is a big piece. You have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to laugh.
My mom always says, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry, and I prefer not to. So, ladies,
that's a good point.
It has been an absolute pleasure having both of you on. I know you've been joining us and following us as our webinars as well. I'd have to look back. I don't know how many of you guys have actually been to, but I know I've seen you recently over, I want to say July and August. Thank you so much for joining us, being, the impact you are on the educators out there today, being here with us, sharing your words of wisdom, as well as just, being the humans you are. You're superhumans. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you so much for being a part of the webinar today, and from all of our guests here as well for joining us today.
And thank you for providing this for us, Ria. We both know this has been invaluable to have these webinars. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's jump in, folks, to all of the little pieces, the shout outs here. I'm just going to give this one fantastic shout out from Stacy here, who is saying, I've just lost my screen, decided to do some crazy stuff. Each child in their room has a round laundry basket with their toys, and they don't share them, but they can play with the same things. They have a beach towel outside where all their goodies are, and they sit with them for snack, and it's really working well for them. You guys have got it set up. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing amazing out there. As always, in the file section, folks, is your certificate. If you want to download it right now, you can. Pop your center name on there, pop your name on there, you're good to go. If you don't get it until tomorrow's show notes, not to fret, it will be there as well. Okay? No one freak out. Resources. So especially you, Amanda, you were talking a little bit about your REI, you guys follow Reggio Montessori stuff. It's all here, and as well for you, Cindy, your high scope. All of it is going to be in the show notes. The links will be there, kind of as well as some key links too from Oregon and what's happening there. So I hope you guys are good, on point. Next week we're having Chaz. You guys will just be ready. Just be ready. He's such some action, let me tell you. Going to be talking a little about teaching through learning and leading, and he is a fantastic coach, and we're super excited to have him on. He's a lot of energy, so I'm gonna have to really make sure I get a good sleep that night, because to keep up with Chaz it's gonna be a lot. Anyways, it will be lots of fun. Carmen, Kai is doing a contest. Tell us a little bit more about this guy on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, so we are very excited, everyone, to announce that we are running a contest. It's open until November 12th, and we want to see your COVID classrooms. Essentially, go on to Facebook or Instagram, tag us on there, follow our Facebook, and share your classrooms with us. On November 12th, we'll be looking at them and then selecting a winner. And there's $500 on the line, guys, as a prize. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions, I'll include more info in the show notes tomorrow. And yeah, just wait for your inboxes. I'm really excited to see what y'all are doing. And thanks so much for your energy. I really enjoyed myself today. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Amanda. So happy to have you. And thanks everyone who tuned in today. You guys are amazing. Awesome. I think that's a wrap for you.
I cannot echo that anymore. I think so. Follow us on social media, folks. You know the drill. We're Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all of that. Come check out Hi Mama if you want to learn a bit more. From all of us here at Hi Mama, happy ECE Appreciation Day as well, once again. And stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you next time.
See you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.